Hello fellow mutants, welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to talk about how Henry Cavill is officially out as Superman. Now I know you guys probably heard from other YouTubers, other sources on the internet by now. I took a little break off the internet, or I should say off the internet, but off of being a content creator on YouTube. Um, Fine, college just wrapped up for me, and I just needed that mental break of little mental break of not having to worry about doing anything. Now I'm refreshed back. So let's get into this, shall we? Henry Cavill can't catch a break after getting people psyched for his return to the truer version of Superman. News just said that he's officially out as the Man of Steel. Simultaneously, statements were released. A tweet from James Gunn, an Instagram post from Cavil, stating that a Superman movie is in the works, but it will not star Cavil. And I know that's kind of been having mixed reviews, as of recent. Personally, I would have loved to have Henry Cavill continue as Superman, cause he really loves to be it. There might be some actors who portray their characters just to get a paycheck, but no, not Cavill. Cavill, he is that person that had really enjoyed being a Superman. Really enjoyed being Superman. Could feel it in his performances in both versions of the Justice League movies. In Batman vs Superman and Man of Steel. I could feel that guy loved being Superman. So I think like they're going the wrong direction at least having Cavill have at least one last Superman movie, that doesn't take place in the current DCU moving forward. Just a standalone Superman movie to please fans, kind of to wrap up the story, because I think fans deserve that. Anyways, James Gunn explained a bit about what's going on in the thread. Bear and I have slated ready to go, which we couldn't be more over the moon about. We'll be able to share more exciting information about our first projects at the beginning of the new year. Among those of the states is Superman. In an initial stage, our story will be focusing on an earlier part of Superman's life, so the character will not be played by Henry Cavill. But isn't that what Man of Steel was? Focusing on Clark Kent's earlier life, early years a bit. So you couldn't say that at least with Man of Steel account, you can say that how that it was canon for the Snyder's DCEU and the current and the Gunn's version of the DCEU. Because the beauty about Man of Steel is that it didn't really have any other DC characters in it, in terms of who was part of the Justice League. Sure, in the final fight of Man of Steel, it had the Wayne Enterprises. That's an easy recast, so you can kind of go the way of, yeah, Man of Steel is canon in both the Man of Steel is technically is canon in the Snyder's version of the DCU and in our version, because if you want to do the younger years, will that work? If they execute it right, sure. Do I want it? Yes. Do I want it? Maybe not, because maybe it's confusing. But like I said, they could have it be like the conclusion to the Snyder verse, if you will. Anyways, let's move on. But we just had a great meeting. This is still me reading James Gunn's tweets. But we just had a great meeting with Henry, and we're big fans, and we talked about a number of exciting possibilities to work together in the future. Um, and then he answered this question that says, being part of the slate, I assume, is a movie, and he said, yeah. And he said, are you writing or directing? And Gunn says, I'm writing and have been for a while. We don't know who's directing yet. Please tell me more. Please tell me this isn't an origin movie. No way. Met with Ben yesterday precisely because he wants to direct and we want him to direct. We just have to find the right project. You know what? Oh, sorry. That was what I just said was answer to could Ben Affleck direct. Okay. Um, Gunn's tweet makes it seem like Cavill could be in a Superman movie down the road, but Cavill himself assures us that that's not the case. I have just had a meeting with James Gunn and Peter Safran, and it's sad news, everyone. I will, after all, not be returning as Superman. After being told by the studio to announce my return back in October, prior to their hire, this news isn't the easiest, but that's life. The changing of the guard is something that happened. I respect that. James and Peter have a universe to build. I wish them, and all involved with the new universe, the best of luck and the happiest of the fortunes. For those who have been on my side through the years, we can mourn for a bit. But then we must remember, Superman's still around. Everything he stands for still exists, and the examples he set for us are still there. My turn to wear the cape has passed, but what Superman stands for never will. It's been a fun ride with you all, onward and outward. And I think that was a touching speech or quote from him. Cavill really took it like a champ, and I'm happy about that. This sucks for Cavill, so especially because he was told he would be back. Amy Adams recently said she wasn't approached about returning as Lois, so it may have been in the early stages, but still, it's got to sting. He slightly gave up his steady job on The Witcher for this, at least partially. And I think it will be like that might be partially why he stepped away from The Witcher. I know another reason was this that's been floating around is because Cavill wasn't enjoying the fact that they were not the people behind The Witcher wasn't respecting the lore of The Witcher. Which I know there's like books and games that fans love. And I never played those games, I never read the books. I have yet to watch the series. And I don't know if I will watch the series. I might watch the series up to the point where like the third season, and then I probably will stop. I don't know, just to support Henry Cavill. But yeah, probably I wouldn't put it past him, to be honest. Anyways, I get it. Gunn and Peter Safran need to go their own way, but it's important not to feel bad for a guy who's been jerked around by everyone who's ever given him a plum role like this. Gunn says he's hopeful to collaborate with him in the future, but how that will work? He's not Superman, but he's like Booster Gold or something down the line. I don't know. I don't think he'll do that, and I wouldn't blame him if he didn't. But I hope something great comes along for him because he's more than earned it. As far as, and before I continue, I don't like. Some people are kind of tired of the whole multiverse because lately it feels like the superhero movies that's been coming out. I'm specifically referencing Marvel here has been doing nothing but um multiverse theme based movies. I mean, we just got Spider-Man No Way Home not too long ago. I don't. It was like 2 or 3 years ago. By the time of this recording, that was phenomenal. Then we recently got Doctor Strange this year. That movie was not as good as No Way Home. I'm sorry, but I think that fans may be tired of the multiverse. I mean, even in the Arrowverse, for example, there were multiple times when they did bring in the multiverse. And even the Green Arrow's last adventure, it was to save the multiverse, and Oliver Queen did give up being um, Green Arrow essentially. But or gave up his life. You guys know what I meant. Sorry for the awkward pause. But so yeah, in the world where we get like multiple stories, and those stories taking us in the multiverse, I can see where people are kind of tired of the multiverse, but they could explain it through that. Henry Cavill coming back as Superman through a multiverse. Um, Maybe like Cavill could return to Superman if they made the Injustice movies. I think um, having Cavill to return to that would be great. And Gal Gadot, if she's not going to be Wonder Woman in this new DCEU, which I doubt she will be, but if she's not going to be Wonder Woman in the new DCEU, then if we're going to get a live action Injustice Gods Among Us movie, Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, Henry Cavill, Superman, yes. Anyways, let's finish this that way. As for what Gunn and Saffron are actually doing, I'm hopeful. The idea of starting out young and building their Superman is good. I'll keep the same guy in the role for what I'm sure they want to be as long as a long series of films. Gunn says it's not an origin, and that's fine. We all know that story, and they can easily dispense with it in the title sequence. I mean, they kind of do that with Superman and Lois in such a beautiful way, so hey, why not, right? Um, I'm excited, but I want DC movies to be amazing, and they've got a chance to be, despite losing someone who could have been a great Superman. And I agree. I agree. Um, it's sad that we aren't getting Henry Cavill as Superman anymore. And yeah, the new DCEU could be great. And I think the problem with the DCEU that came before, it was too much in a hurry of trying to catch up to the MCU, where it should have took its time more. That's why Marvel Studios has got to where they are now. Because in the beginning, within like phase 1 and phase 2, more so phase 1, they took their time. They weren't rushing. There was like one movie, I want to say like per year. And I think into phase 2, that's when we slowly got like about two Marvel movies per year. And then by phase 3 came out, it was like a bit more Marvel movies that were coming out. To like Endgame, which was a epic finale to the MCU, and they could have stopped that. And No Way Home was a good after credit based movie. But the reason why like Endgame was like so like, well, Endgame and Infinity War were so like the hype was real for those two movies, essentially being the conclusion of what phase 1 started, was because they took their time and built up the story, built up the characters, got us attached to the characters, did not rush. And that's what a lot of fans liked about the movie. I mean, MCU in like phase 1 through phase 4 or 3. I forget which phase Endgame was in. Please help me if you guys don't know. But anyways, my point still stands. If the new DC, my point still stands about like if the new DCEU takes its time building up the characters and having a threat being like Darkseid or Doomsday or another big bad in the DC universe, where it forces like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, the Flash, Stargirl, whoever they choose to be in this incarnation of the Justice League, to come together and work together to face. But first, we need to do what Marvel did at the beginning of DC. Take things slow. Don't rush like the last DCEU run did. So that's just my advice. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. If you guys want another, I will talk to you guys later. Later, taters.